how I use the band isn't just as a form of mobility, even though it's awesome as far as like using it as a form of mobility. Donnie Thompson, Chris Duffin, Kelly Starrett, Dick Hartzell's the innovator of the jump stretch bands. Awesome ideas, and not only that, you can use it in weightlifting as well. All applicable to becoming a better athlete, becoming whatever it is that you want to become as far as an athlete, and the mobility, restoration, active recovery standpoint, because it's not just, I wouldn't declare it as a stretch at all. I would see it as an active, something that is active, like it's turning everything on instead of being passive. And because of the compression that it gives you a greater range of motion to deal with without having to deal with any pain, which is always really nice. But how I use it is, it gives me a direction on where tension is coming from. So if it's anchored behind me, the direction is backwards. It's going to pull me backwards. So I have to do something to oppose that in order to stay balanced. I don't want to say upright because I'm not upright, I'm leaning forward. And then once I have that balance, I can manipulate my body position however it is that I want to, without changing necessarily my angle. So I can stay in this angle and still move my feet here and in however direction that I want to. And so in doing that, I can manipulate the direction of the band in order to replicate as best as I can within a duration of the rotation of the hammer. So if I explore all different types of directions that the hammer could be coming from, like from the catch, of course. And primarily I've been focusing on just the catch, where I can get that idea from the catch. Initially, I was thinking of the single support to the catch. So walking to the catch, I would just walk to the catch. Walk to the catch. And then throw there. And so, which made it incredibly helpful because it's a transfer. It's a transfer of weight from one support to the other, point of support to the other. The left side is my main source of support when I'm in single support, of course, and then it's a transfer to my right side. Now, what happens if like I'm too far this way? It's going to pull me backwards. What happens if I'm too far this way? Then I would have to I've obstructed myself too much, but it's still important. I would declare here more important than here from the initial catch, because I'm applying force to the ground. As soon as this happens, I've just overcompensated, and what happens is going to be the ball is going to pass me. So the upright position that everyone sees should be a byproduct of the application of force to the ball. So I am in this position here, generally speaking, from the first catch, here, and then from here, I should be here. And now, just like magic, I'm in an upright position. And so it should allow everything to come through at that point. So this makes it really awesome too, because how do I walk? How do I run? What are the primary movers of walking and running? Hamstrings. Hamstrings, the posterior chain, glutes, lower back are the primary sources of movement in walking and running. So when I don't like thinking about quads. Quads are a byproduct. And so just think about knees are bent. what bends the knees? Not the quads. The quads extend. I mean, so if I have to bend my knee, I'm not going to go this way, because then I've just pushed myself out of that direction. I have to pull myself into position. Pull myself into position. And what this is doing now, it's pulling me back this way. So, which is great, because I want the ball to be on top of my right hip, just like everyone is talking about. But if I'm pulling myself into position, I'm just freed up my left side, and technically I'm trying to work with both feet at the same time, and I'm trying to stay in this as much as I can, and then at the same time I'm trying to propel the ball this way while continuing on to my next turn this way. I'm trying to do that at the same time. And of course, it's very difficult to do that. And because I was thinking, it wasn't working, or I was here, or I was trying to curl with both feet, use my hamstrings with both feet, and so it turned into a really odd kind of dilemma that I was sorting through. But it was whatever. So I turned around to find something else. And what I found was, say that here is where the point of pressure is now. I'm at the catch, ball is the back right corner. So if that's the case, then, and I'm not doing anything, but the only thing that I'm doing essentially is I'm leaning towards zero. When I'm leaning towards zero, the byproduct of that is that I have pressure with the outside of my right foot. And the outside of my right foot, instead of thinking, dig it in, then I've lost time. I knew that I wanted to have some type of subliminal pressure on my outside of my foot, just because I wanted a piece of stability for me to go from here, facing 270, to facing 90. I want from here to here, here to here. So if the pressure is coming from back right corner, I have subliminal pressure from my outside of my foot, not because I'm doing it, but because that's where the pressure is. That's where the pressure is, so that's what's going to happen. I'm going to curl with my right side, opposing force with my left side, and just turn. And so I went from facing 270 to facing approximately 90. And that's what I'm looking for. All I'm looking for is from here to here. And the feedback that you're going to get from the band is it's at back right corner, so the pressure's on the outside of my right foot. And as I start turning, it's going to start, if I don't increase pressure and I go here, it's going to pull me backwards from my right side. So what I have to do is I have to work into the band with my right side. So there's very little pressure from my left hip. All the pressure's on my right side. And so now I can practice here, which is exactly what I am looking for. I am looking for that portion of it. So I'm trying to get it to where it's working together, but there's two directions that I like working from, and that's single support, where the pressure is behind me, and then walking into it. Working from here, of course, imagining that the ball is behind my hamstrings, because it's behind my hamstrings right here. And so once I get to turning, it's behind my hamstrings. The pressure is here. It's all here. It isn't in front. And so this is where, when you go to throw the ball, that's where the ball is free. You are connected with the ball when you just obtain to throw it. And I see single support as a reset. It's nothing to do with very much of anything, just because I don't want to overcomplicate anything. What I use it for is I've just thrown the ball, and I'm using my single support to get back into that position so I can throw the ball again. And that's the only thing that I'm thinking about with single support. But I'm thinking about walking to the catch. So how do I walk? Posterior chain, hamstrings, all that fun stuff. So I need to walk to the catch. So that's a little bit more of how I work with the bands, not just from the mobility perspective, but as a constant teacher to teach me to practice different directions with the ball, with pressure from the band and replicating the tension of the wire, and just to mess around, taking all direction into consideration, not just the direction that has been beaten into people's brains for however long the hammer throw has been around.